Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is Thursday, May 17th, just a little bit before midnight. Uh, Pretty big deal. You're about to see, at least for me personally. I'm sure everyone else will feel this way when it happens to them. But if you recall, last thing we unboxed was a triple pack that you see here, which is, of course, Camo, Igniter, and Mornado. Bear in mind, Igniter was already out as a Wave 4 single, and prior to that, the way I had him was the 3DS starter pack. Wave 5 basically consists of this triple pack, then the single pack of Camo, the single pack of Vornado, if you want to say Dragon's Peak, because it's not just at Toys R Us, you can throw that in there. But the missing piece, and only offered in a single pack at this point in time, would be Whamshell. If you recall, or if you follow the blog or Twitter, I think it's probably been on Facebook as well, I had Whamshell pre-ordered. Same time I actually ordered, Camo and Whamshell, Camo and Mornado, from Amazon through a pre-order. It was actually taken April 18th. And needless to say, it's almost been a month. I still do not have notice on when Whamshell is going to ship. I know on Camo and Vornado single packs, despite getting my order in around like 10, it seems like I was about a week after, the first group of people actually had theirs shipped from Amazon. I'm sure it'll come eventually. It's a great price. I recommend going through Amazon when possible. $25 gets you free shipping. But in a very strange twist of luck, here locally I was able to get Whamshell. Of course, Walmart houses a scalper who is an employee, so that's basically out the window. Toys R Us, as you very well know, they really haven't gotten anything in forever, it seems like, particularly in relation to Wave 4 and Wave 5. That said, they are a great place to pick up the early releases. That seems to be what they stock, and of course about 150 legendary trigger happies per store, so it seems. But Whamshell I found at a local, like the tertiary store, the one that is not going to be everywhere in the country type deal, and of course I had to pick it up. May or may not cancel the Amazon order, I don't know. But point is, we've got Whamshell. We will go ahead and unbox him. So as far as if you want to replicate what I did, it's really not going to be an option. This particular store is not found very many places. But anyway, here's the packaging. Of course, I don't mind opening this one. They threw the sticker over him. It's one of those deals. You can kind of get it off, but it'll just peel it up, and of course try it over his face. But the packaging, pretty basic. You've got the inset box art of Whamshell, and then a showcase of the other characters. One thing I do like about the single packs is they actually show the slogans. As you can see with Whamshell, it's brace for the mace. Whamshell is kind of like Camo. Once you see him in person, you tend to be a little bit more impressed with him. But here's Whamshell. Pretty cool looking guy, kind of the Captain Crustacean, if you will. He's got the gold mace. I think from the Soul Gym video, it looks like it squirts water. I think it's maybe electric or something. We'll figure all that out coming up. But pretty cool looking character, right out of the box. He's kind of got the armor. We'll allude to that here shortly. But again, I was absolutely shocked to find him here locally. I have not found anything since I tried to get Empire of Ice back in January. But let's see here. I know a lot of people have said GameStop, they've been able to pick it up locally. Issue with that for me, they seem to not ship until they sell their current stock, and ours is currently stocked with tons of Wrecking Balls and Stealth Elves and stuff that doesn't really sell. But all that aside, the story on Whamshell, he is located in the deep oceans of Skylands, and basically he was the ruler, the king of the kingdom, whatever you want to say. The mace has actually passed from king to king, and everything was going great. It was an underwater utopia, I believe is exactly how they worded it. And then one day the trolls came to drill for oil. Basically caught everyone off guard, scattered his people, and Whamshell sprang into action with his mace, of course, defeated the trolls, restored law and order, brought peace back, and ultimately he joined up with the Skylanders to ensure that this wouldn't happen not only to his own people but to anyone else. So that's kind of the background on him. The card stats, which as you very well know mean basically nothing when you actually play the game. Strength is going to be 75, which is, pretty impressive for what it's worth. Defense is 90, which is again very high. Agility 25, obviously that could use some improvement. And then luck is 60. Anytime you buy a triple pack, single pack, you get the card. You get a web code for Spyro's Universe, which by the time you see this on YouTube, I've registered. If you decide to pause and try to interpret that. Then you get the sticker sheet, if you put them on a collector's case or your kids stick them on the walls or, what have you going on. The more important thing that actual fans of the game will care about is his in-game stats. Whamshell is pretty impressive in all honesty. He begins with 300 on health. When he hits level 10, it will max out at 600, which is right up there near the top. There's going to be a few 620s. I think Stump Smash is the highest, maybe 680 if I remember right. His speed begins at 50. There's, of course, the 6 heroic challenges that give +8 speed, so he maxes out at 98, which is very impressive. Just looking at him, you would assume he'd be one of the slower characters, maybe like a Slam Bam type, but I'll definitely take it without complaint. Critical hit begins at 30, maxes out at 80 when you do the heroic challenges. Elemental power via the heroic challenges, and then of course collecting all 4 of the same element, etc., maxes out at 100. Where Whamshell is unique, his armor is at 18, which is, as you know, pretty pathetic. Through the heroic challenges, there's 10 that yield +3, so you've got 30. That would bump him from 18 to 48, which is still, pretty mediocre when you get right down to it. The thing that is great about Whamshell, his Soul Gem, and I really like that it's on the Soul Gem as opposed to one upgrade path, gives him +40 armor, bringing that up to 88. That is a huge deal, as you're probably well aware if you've completed any number of the armor challenges. You'll see that little yellow shield by your Skylander. It's basically when they dodge something because of armor. And overall, those stats make Whamshell pretty impressive. He, of course, joins Gilgrunt and the water element. Of course, he's been around since the beginning, basically all starter packs with the 3DS. Zap, which ironically is the Skylander that someone stole my web code for, so hopefully you've been enjoying him. You probably haven't even played him, you probably just registered him for the heck of it. But Zap's kind of underrated in my opinion. Then of course, from Wave 3, Adventure Pack character Slam Bam is the 3rd water character. And of course, joining them and wrapping up the water element characters would be Whamshell. Again, to recap, in Wave 5, you've got Whamshell singles, Camo, and Warnado singles, and then of course the Camo, Igniter, Warnado triple pack. In all honesty, the Igniter single pack was actually Wave 4. If you recall, it was released around the same time as Lightning Rod and Zook. So Wave 5 Igniter is really just limited here to this triple pack, which we unboxed previously. But I am pretty excited, obviously, having the 32nd and final Skylander, which in my case is Whamshell. That will let me complete all of the in-game stuff. You have to take one Skylander through all 32 challenges. It'll also let me complete Warnado's video sessions where I took a, level 1, no upgraded Warnado through all the challenges. So I'm excited about getting to finally record that. It'll just be Whamshell in the final 3. I'll, of course, as soon as possible, I'll record Whamshell's introduction, his base abilities, and then, of course, his own heroic challenge, kind of get a feel for it before we put Warnado through it. He looks like a great character. Here that he's now actually in hand, which I'm still shocked I was able to find it. He was the only one, by the way, down at the very bottom, not even on the rack. Basically a place where usually only little kids would find it, but I guess I think that way sometimes. So, again, I'll get all this blogged, if that way it's easier for you to kind of see his stats, anything you want to. I'll have videos, heroic challenges, and whatnot as well in that post. But again, finally, picked the game up, basically release day back in October, and here we are basically in the middle of May, and I have finally landed Whamshell, which is the last Skylander I needed. So all the base 32 are taken care of. That's the important thing, and I'm going to go ahead, quit rambling. You should see this shortly after. You should probably be expecting to see the gameplay video. And again, just check the link to the blog. That'll kind of have everything. You won't have to farm through the video to get it. You can just kind of scroll through, find the stats or whatever it is you care about. But questions, comments, feel free to ask here on YouTube or the blog, oneofwisdom.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, whichever you prefer. And as always, thanks for watching.